It's like, oh well, it was gonna go, but you know. So I really appreciate everybody coming out. Like Holly said, I'm part of the New Night Babies, and it's really like a spoken word rap duo that me and my friend Cabo, he's an Afro-German rapper and producer, we started back in Berlin when I was living there. And we worked with these two German guys who are brothers, and they just, you know, they're doctors by day, and at night they just make music. And so we just all kind of, you know, got together and started doing music. And so we have this CD called Brick Walls and Breezeways, and that's on iTunes. And we're working on a new one right now called Lilac and Rapeseed. So I think some of the ones I'm doing tonight, a little bit of those words are in this little mix. So, I'm just gonna go through some of them. Maybe sometimes I'll stop, or sometimes I'll just look down and just keep going. Lately, I've been just sort of doing a medley of things. So you know how you have like part of a poem that you really feel. And it goes better with maybe another part of a different poem, and you just kind of like start pasting and stuff. So that's kind of what it is like right now. The soul ages, catching patterns of green with jazz called red-handed, where sense of the blues stuck in between me. We are in the life of life in the meantime. Meanwhile, moments with miles pass around members of the former cast who ask, two for the rules to be chosen as gifts to be vessels and tools for imagination. Relating in outer space, with my cup raised, I toast to the most high of my most fly. Humbled and okay, I bend in thanks to the greatest I in my truest form. Sweet petunia, poor little girl blue, let miles play for you, a rhythm or two. With my eyes closed and my head bobbing, I reopen the groove and just nod, so that folks can step right up and on through, kind of like ushers do you at the church pew, pearl white gloves, cuz we move like scarecrows down from poles, jamming out cornfields and around the potholes in your street. Words coming through sideways like the feet on your granddaddy's new Cadillac shine and round up to the rim. Like a throwback rim on point or the last dragon in your TV. We beat to black like Oak Cliff beat to Big T. With my eyes closed and my head bobbing, I reopen the groove and just nod. Like an old school video minus the hoe. You know, that type of chill out that ain't around no more. That type of chill out that ain't around no more. That type of chill out that ain't around no more. Portrait. Unmarked ghetto girl sitting in front of a television. Labeled conscious dread, but she daydreams about snipping her locks off because she don't like soy milk. She passed the Doochie and rolls slow to tune Screwed. Slow to a crawl like the melody of Paul Wall. Her money gets jealous. She gets high, then gets serenaded by the sirens in her television, in her tape player, spinning off the lips of those freestyling in her garage, sounding from atop patrol cars, reaching and screaming from between the bars about bling bling. The ones that lay acoustic for pipe dreams behind a choir of fatherless dope fiends. Sirens in her television, beautiful sirens, beckoning her, calling her. How can she pass by her soul music without giving thanks? As if it were the color purple or some ancient tune like that tattooed on the back of a caricature tap dancing in blackface. These pirates, oh yes, they ride by. Like two conscious dread rob Rastafari, a third eye rob a slave on West Africa's shore, or the beast rob Hitler in the mind of the poor, unemployed, middle-class soldier. She marches, Jah Rastafari over to the infinite, moves like a Jamaican with no hurry on the dance floor. She takes her programs more seriously than before, though. Her intermission seems a needful thing to themes played across her living room. In phases, she understands the moon lighting her paper in the dark while she's writing to tunes Screwed. Tunes renewed on the back of tunes huge. She's dark like jazz in transition from blues to mass choir. She asks higher than self. Acquires her wealth from what's left over, from what couldn't fit on her grandmother's shoulder. She stands low and watches herself get older to what those sirens taught her about song, about living to just get along, about being so involved in the madness that she misses the moment of what's going on with sirens in a television, in a tape player, spinning off the lips of those freestyling in her garage, sounding from atop patrol cars, reaching and screaming from between the bars about bling bling. A million women raped, a million phone calls taped, a million kids want bathing apes instead of birthday cakes. A million birthday cakes that might make a million days for a million less fortunate kids a million miles away in a million different ways. $1 million ain't shit to the millions of Bernie Madoffs who get a million breaks while a million mamas work a million overtime hours at less than $15 an hour. A million times I prayed for Ed McMahon and that knock on my apartment door in an apartment complex, not quite for projects, but that project grew too complex for the $1 million check. So eager for the return of Christ, fundamentalists create crises and send up smoke signals to heaven, pleading with God to send his only begotten son back down to play. What a friend we all have in Jesus. Meanwhile, in Europe, the walls between East and West come tumbling down on top of Africans and Arabs. So, in the safe haven of Afro shops, African restaurants, and white German thighs, brother men find refuge from the onslaught of white denial. And I think, if I could personify the white man, I'd crucify him on the stand and make him confess the master's plan in a room full of crackheads, deadbeat daddies, and suicide bombers so they could all get on by themselves and kick the white man out of their soul. Within and throughout the context of this, I'm growing old. Can't tell if the monkey's on my back or part of my past or part of my soul. So I deconstruct the half I can grasp in an effort to salvage the whole and then find inside what I find is we are remote controlled by some remote control. Hallelujah. Jesus, pull me to the drum and release my body to the beat of my legs, thrive and give up the ghost of my brothers and me. Tiptoeing through the madness like ghetto ballerinas in a ghetto. Tiptoeing through the madness like ballerinas in a ghetto fabulous production of Mother Goose's rhymes. Grandma lived next to the old lady with 8 kids and 9 baby daddies. 1 extra for the son or daughter she aborted in the name of love, a pro-choice that wasn't an option for her cracked up belly. Rappers become dancers, cultural ambassadors, choreographing the ghetto and teaching the world how to move. Stanky leg, Ricky Bobby, do what you do, but watch my shoes. Some say they hood heroes, remixed electronic new Negroes, produced and possessed so far to the core that their bodies are schizophrenic, jumping into video reels for quick fills and tip drills, sprawled across rented Cadillacs and borrowed Bentleys like slain lions in African safari journals. You would rock it too if the tough got going after you, seeking you out like the nothing, not even hiding behind the bushes, but waiting for you behind your front door like the drama in your living room, ready to cast you in your own demise. And then there's that pot of lies, luring all the neighborhood kids, Negro, rig them to the pledge, hot from the center of their heads to their fine line between cold blue and cold red. The swollen left nipple of God is committed to feeding you, so nod if you're hungry and holler if you hear me and line up for a sip. Because the books are closing, the police are going to war with more than enough bullets against the knucklehead students. Boys who love crunk, hot wire rockets, and blast off into space in search of stealth blips and rogue alien boo-boos in the back of Cadillacs with the blunts passed and the music turned up and the embalming fluid on deck. They are their own superheroes, left with no heroes in the free world. They recreate the streets in the classroom and turn their backs on the classroom for the streets. The living ain't easy, but it beats getting beat. Weed math is indiscreet, 12 ag do half plus 3, and a minute be free like birds that don't sing, in cages with no balls, posted, chilling, a minute dealing, a minute fiending, a minute hoping, a minute dreaming. Woo! So, sometimes my voice just like, slow down. So, y'all all right?
Oh, yeah.
Right on, right on. In Texas, the Impala matched the streets to make you holler like somebody snatched a dollar out your pocket. In the club to show you stood up, roll your shoulders, throw your hood up, floss your cash. Swerve while you pass. Look good in your white tee. Yep, because it might be the last time you rock it. Because the streets ain't got no shame when it come down to this game. The Griot Big Bro says, it's all out here for you, man. The life, death, and success are the same. Yes, bro, you just got to choose how you push your chest out into the madness of this manifest destiny. And when you having yours, back up off the table when the test is over, because the floor is moving beneath you or moving from beneath you. Inside you next in line, but like Umar says, the streets are trying to reach you, call you for to teach you, not the way of great-grandmother, slave the brother to the rhythm. In Texas, the Impala matched the street.